So this happens every time there's an election. Somebody from the Libertarian Party decides, hey, I'm going to run for office. I'm going to put zero work in. I'm going to make sure that I'm the ultimate fringe candidate. I'm going to say a bunch of weird shit. I'm not going to present myself so that older people will vote for me. And I'm going to run against a Republican that's actually pretty decent. Now, if this was the North, it would be a completely different story. If it's Mitt Romney versus someone who's exactly like him, or Mike Pence versus someone who's exactly like him, I would say, okay, I'll vote Libertarian. But in the state of Georgia, we're going to have an election November 8th, 2022. These two main candidates couldn't be further away from each other. One would lock us down at the drop of a hat, would make everyone wear a mask, would make everyone do vaccine passports. Every part of the state of Georgia would turn into Atlanta and then some. It would be more like Chicago, New York City, San Francisco. You know, shitholes. And Brian Kemp, I don't like a lot of his policies, especially where he gives money to private enterprise to stimulate the economy. Totally against that. As far as gun rights, he's still pretty good. COVID, he's pretty good, because I went to the store the other day, did not have to wear a mask. I was not asked for my papers when I went to the store. I was not asked for my papers when I went to the school. I was not asked for my papers when I went to work. This is a big difference between him and Stacey Abrams. So when election years come around and someone says, hey, vote for me, and you can tell they put zero work into their campaign and the fact that they really don't even have a campaign, I'm not going to vote for that guy. Especially when they look like a Gen X, Mountain Dew Code Red weirdo. And do I think he's a weirdo? Probably not. He actually seems like an okay guy, but I'm putting myself in the mind of a 70-year-old voter, because that's who's going to vote in the election. Who is going to win if Shane Hazel gets 2, 3, 4, 5% of the vote? I don't even think he'll be that significant. But you will have Stacey fucking Abrams. The woman who cannot string a sentence together will be your governor. Then you'll have, not only that, the governor will be Stacey Abrams, and we'll have our two lovely senators, the Manchurian candidates, John Ossoff and Warnock. I don't even remember their names because they're that fucking unimportant to me. But if it was up to them, if it was up to woke Democrats, which they all are, we would be fucking New York City right now. People would be leaving the state in droves, and something that affects your liberty on a daily basis would be changed because you want to vote for Shane Hazel. I'm telling you, let me just give you an example. I typed in Shane Hazel for governor in Google. There's nothing. There's no site that has his governor race or candidacy or anything like that. There's an Instagram link and a link to his podcast. Again, I'm putting myself in the shoes of a 50 to 70-year-old voter. The majority of people who vote are in that age category, probably 35 to 70, but more likely there's more 50 to 70-year-olds voting. They are not going to vote for Shane Hazel. Shane Hazel is not going to win the election. Shane Hazel is not running to win the election. He's running to make a point. This is why I can't fucking stand 99% of third-party candidates. If you had a third-party candidate who actually tried, who had a website, who wore a shirt and tie and tried to look presentable, who tried to say, here's the difference between me and the other candidates, on the first page of their website, which, by the way, he doesn't have, I would think about voting for that person. But 9 times out of 10, this is what it's like when you have the Libertarian Party running candidates. They do not fucking try at all. So, Shane Hazel, prove me wrong. If you are listening to this, or if you are watching this, make a fucking website. Wear a shirt and tie. Try to appeal to older voters, because that's who's voting. You need to get the old people to vote, because the younger people are automatically going to vote for Stacey Abrams. I actually don't want you to run at all, but if you could prove me wrong, that would be kind of cool. I wish you just wouldn't. This is not the election. This is not the election. I do not want to show my papers to get on a plane, to ride a bus, to drive a car, to go to school, to go to work, be fired from my job because I don't have the vaccine papers, to be fired from life, to not be able to do things because I don't want to show a fucking piece of paper. Brian Kemp may be like a 1980s Democrat, but that is the cards that we have right now. It's either Brian Kemp or Stacey Abrams. You are not a strong candidate, and you will not even make a statistical difference. If you tried harder, maybe you would, but you do not try that hard. You are not trying. Just like the other election where there was a runoff race, your candidacy was a joke. I understand people didn't want to vote Rick Allen, but now that COVID has happened and we see that one party wants to jail you and put you in fucking your own quarantine so you can't do and participate in public life, that is a problem. I'm going to vote for the person who says, let's not do that. I'll be a one-issue COVID voter. I do not want my liberty to be stifled. Thank you. People who are listening to me, please see the voice of reason. Please just vote for Brian Kemp if you do not want it to end up like fucking Atlanta, Chicago, San Francisco. The North is what is going to happen to Georgia if we vote in Stacey Abrams. She's crazy. We cannot allow this. We cannot allow people who double down on bullshit, who double down on spraying down entire areas because they think they might be infected. They wear a gas mask. They wear an N95 mask. They want you to do all that. If you don't do that, you're a Nazi. You're a racist. We can't fucking afford this right now.